The Lake Superior Circle Tour is an incredible 1,300-mile adventure. Some take the journey in segments spread out over several weeks, months, and even years. Others will accept the challenge by taking a road trip for a few days, or less. Once the 1,300 miles are completed, there is a sense of accomplishment and pride having circled around the largest freshwater lake by surface in the world. However, there is much more than ticking off miles on your odometer. For many, it is but a beginning, their eyes having opened to choose from hundreds of new adventures either minutes off the highway or literally above and beyond the long asphalt trail. King's Highway 17, the Trans Canada Highway, in the province of Ontario, hugs the Lake Superior shoreline from Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay. The scenery is rugged, incredibly beautiful, and there are hundreds of interesting vacation spots, activities, and sights to discover. The province of Ontario, hugging the northern and eastern shore of Lake Superior, is vast, and it is broken up into 3 tourist regions: Sunset Country to the northwest, Superior Country in the center, and hugging the eastern shoreline is the Algoma region. The town of Wawa is in Algoma and is featured in a large ad in the 2021 Lake Superior Travel Guide, a supplement to Lake Superior magazine. They invite travelers to experience the best of Northern Ontario by sled, foot, or boat. Wawa is a gateway to tens of thousands of inland lakes, numerous drive-to fishing and hunt camps, and the premier adventure of all, taking a float plane to remote camps and lodges. This Circle Tour video series accepted Wawa's invitation with an early morning arrival at Watson's Skyways Air Base on Wawa Lake. Destination: Watson's Windy Point Lodge on Kabinakagami Lake, approximately 70 miles north, 30 minutes by float plane, and only by float plane. There have been months of anticipation, meetings, swapping fish stories, comparing tackle, and packing to a maximum of 100 pounds per person. For some, it is an adventure of a lifetime, and not only for rugged outdoorsmen or women, but also for corporate conferences, families, and a variety of breakaway vacations.
Thanks, Captain.
After all that preparation, anticipation, you follow the instructions of the pilot and ground crew, and the adventure begins by everyone getting involved, loading the plane. Watson Skyways own and operate 2 premier aircraft, a de Havilland Turbine Otter, a legendary workhorse in the north with a capacity of 2,600 pounds and up to 9 passengers. It has a 750 horsepower turbine engine capable of 130 miles per hour and a maximum range of 625 miles. It is considered a stall aircraft, capable of a short takeoff and landing. And a Cessna Caravan on amphibious floats, recognized as the sport utility vehicle of the air. Its Pratt & Whitney turboprop engine has a top speed of 190 miles per hour. It seats 9 and is IFR certified. Also considered a workhorse with short takeoff and landing capabilities. Watson Skyways has a variety of commercial and private charter options. It would be thrilling for any group on the Lake Superior Circle Tour and would catapult the adventure to a whole other level. Kabinakagami translated is Lake of Many Bays. It is the largest lake in the Algoma region, covering 30,800 acres. It is 25 miles long, with 147 islands and 30 sandy beaches with hotspots everywhere for monster northern pike, walleye, whitefish, and jumbo perch. The crew at Windy Point Lodge greet the plane at the dock, and the moment it is secured, we are immediately welcomed by the owners, Richard Watson and his son Robert. With a choreographed efficiency, the plane is unloaded onto trailered, all-terrain vehicles. The banter between the crew and the guests is jovial, and in no time at all, you feel like part of the family.
Flight was beautiful, very smooth. The landing was fantastic, very, very smooth. Uneventful. In-flight service was great. The movie was good. It was just perfect.
There is no time to wonder what to do next. Robert and Richard provide a speedy briefing on the dock.
You guys are all registered and everything. When you come down, we'll get you all comfortable with your boats. And but the best fishing spots are right here, guys.
Once you settle into your camp, the Watsons provide an in-depth orientation of the lodge, the available services, the geography of the lake, equipment, boat assignments, and procedures. And before you know it, you feel at home and you're out exploring the lake. Cool.
Yeah, I find it gives you the most meat, and it actually saves your knife.
Richard and Rosalie Watson, together with their son Robert and his wife Stephanie, purchased Windy Point Lodge in 2013, previously known as Everson's. They run a professional operation with an extraordinary focus on customer service. Richard and Robert are professional fishing and hunting guides and have an expert working knowledge of the lake and the wilderness surrounding it. Their expertise is not newly found. The Watson family roots on Kabinakagami Lake goes back 75 years.
I grew up on the lake. I've been on Kabinakagami since 1952. My dad started here in 1946, and I started guiding at 13.
The decades-long experience around wilderness lodges becomes very apparent when observing the crew at work, not only on arrival, but throughout your stay. They are well-trained and work as a cohesive team, in particular when around the aircraft and boats. They are constantly working behind the scenes on a variety of projects. And yet, when you need gas, live bait, firewood, shore lunch kits, it appears without even asking. They help you launch your boat and are there to greet you when you return. It is like having a personal concierge that knows in advance and caters to your every need in the wilderness.
Yeah, after World War II, my grandfather returned to the little town of Oba, and it was always his dream to start a fishing lodge. and that was an opportunity that came up on Kabinakagami Lake, which is the largest lake in the Algoma district at over 30,000 acres, 25 miles long. They made what we call Pine Portage Lodge, where you actually had to come down the Ober River, portage across the area, and you work to get here. And now 4 lodges on the lake. It's a fly-in only lake, and you get as far as Wawa and take your 60-mile ride in, about half an hour by plane, and you're just so remote. You can't believe how many lakes you fly over, the various, like, just to see how much forest and mountains and all that there are in Northern Ontario to come onto this lake. And it all began in 1946, and it just grew from there.
Richard Arthur Watson was born in a log cabin in the tiny railroad town of Oba in March 1923. Oba is in the northern Algoma region and was quite isolated. It offered a world of adventures for a young boy, and it is there Richard's passion for the wilderness began. World War II broke out, and shortly after his 18th birthday, Richard enlisted in Ottawa with the Royal Canadian Air Force in October 1941. In due course and several promotions, he became a pilot in the 440 Squadron, specializing with the Typhoon fighter bomber. It was a beast of an aircraft to fly, and heavily armed, greatly feared by the Germans. Richard flew in a total of 90 operations between June 1944 and January 1945 during the liberation of France and Belgium. Some of their missions consisted of dropping bombs on and strafing enemy strongpoints, railways, locomotives, trains, bridges, barges, and tanks. Richard was shot down 3 times and miraculously returned to his base to fly again and again. In an RCAF press release dated 21 July 1944, originally transcribed by Huguette Oates, Richard reported one of his harrowing days while conducting a mission over Grenville, France. I had just started my dive on these mortar positions when everything just seemed to blow up around me. All I remember was an explosion, a kind of terrific crash, and the next thing I knew, I was grabbing for my ripcord. I must have got blown out of the cockpit. I was coming right down where the bombs were bursting, so I sideslipped my chute and made a good landing in the middle of a wheat field. Just as I left my parachute, a German shell made a direct hit on it. He goes on to say he saved a piece of the tattered parachute, and moments later, shells were dropping all around him from the Germans and the Allies. He sought shelter in a shallow trench and thought to himself, if I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit. He hooked up with friendly troops. On the way, he assisted the injured at a forward post. He himself injured his knee, and together with another walking wounded soldier, was assigned to escort 6 POWs to the rear. Richard reported, "We went a little way and more Germans kept coming up to us surrendering. We soon were escorting 120 Germans. We had gone quite a way when a Brent carrier came up to escort us all, so I got a lift." Flying Officer Richard Watson ended the interview simply saying, "It was bloody awful." He returned home with honors, and in 1946, with the money he sent home to his mother from the front, he opened Pine Portage Lodge, and soon after KB Lodge on Kabinakagami Lake, under Watson's Algoma Vacations in Wawa. Richard continued to fly after the war and added a flight component to his operations in 1986, now known as Watson's Skyways. He continued to fly commercially until age 72. He was a member of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 429 for over 40 years and a member of the Masonic Lodge of Canada for over 60 years. Community service and helping those in need was a way of life in Wawa, and that integrity spilled over into his son Richard and grandson Robert. Richard and his wife Edna raised 6 children and were grandparents, great and great-great-grandparents to many children. They have passed on, But the operations on Kabinakagami Lake continue today and has expanded by their son Richard and grandson Robert at Windy Point Lodge.
Yeah, I'm third generation owner on the lake. I started working at the camps when I was about 12 years old. Pick your job. It was somewhere around 15, 16 I started guiding, cutting grass, chopping wood, meeting the guests. It even used to be just as far as meeting guests on the dock. I got a bag of ice for you. Do you have any fish I can fillet? And learn that technique and package the fish for the guys to go home if they want them for shore lunch. Did more of a meet and greet, and throughout the years, there's different jobs that my grandfather taught me that it was no favoritism. This is how you learn the job. This is you get dirty and hands and knees, and you learn how to do this stuff, and you'll eventually begin to love it. And I did it for years, and we had a chance to buy our own operation in 2013, which used to be called Everson's Lodge, and just take our knowledge to this. My father and I and my wife and my mother just expand this operation, and just you treat customers the way you want to be treated, and you just watch it grow.
Take your time.
So, Mark,
Yeah.
where are we? Very nice.
Good life.
It sure is.
I mean, if fishing's not your thing, I have books set up in the main lodge. Grab yourself a book, sit out in the patio and hummingbird and have a coffee, sit right on the lake,
There's canoeing, kayaking, and that's we actually have like all girls trips who come up. They just enjoy it to get to have their own getaway, have their own cabin, to have a wine getaway for the weekend. You don't have to go on a boat. You could just relax. Or we have groups that have never even been in a boat. They just come out to the point it's quiet out here. You don't have the city lights. You have nature trails to walk and explore.
There's an old shut down gold mine, go explore. It's just, there's so many opportunities out on the lake. Take a drive down the Oba River, it's just a gorgeous setting out there too.
Or even those who just, for the birds, like we have gold eagles, bald eagles, ospreys. As I mentioned yesterday, as they're coming up together for the fall, there was over 50 loons together last night. That's the beautiful part of, if we have to offer, ask us where these locations are, and we'll gladly either take you to them or just point them in the right direction. You have a map included and safety spots where to go in the lake, and it's just to explore, just to see. Like, pick your time of the year. Like in the fall, if you wanted to see the fall color change. Once you start getting into cold evenings, if you have clear skies, look north, watch for the northern lights. It's there's so much to see out here. Like during this summer 2020, I quit counting how many meteor showers we were able to see. It's wild out here. And just the fresh air. You'll find out at the end of the day, you're tired and you're going to sleep on one of our brand new mattresses, and you're comfortable, boy. Like you said, everything's your own. You have your own sheets, towels, linens, flushing toilets, hot, cold running water, drinkable water, which is key. Showers in every cabin. So it's your own getaway. You have your own boat and motor, their electric start motors, fish finders on board, padded swivel seats. You're comfortable.
It's not like an outpost where they just drop you off and see ya. You know, you're well taken care of, absolutely.
In case of emergencies, or if there's bad weather or something like that, there's satellite TV in the main lodge. There's a phone system. We still have internet here. Satellite internet. We have a business to run, and it's nice for people to share their photos on social media, show how great a trip you have.
And any comments about the hospitality here at Windy Point Lodge?
Oh, it's wonderful. Robert and the staff are doing a great job making us feel at home. The cabins they're inviting, they're warm, they're feeding us tremendously well, overly well, I'd say. After breakfast, Stephanie came up and said, well, for dinner tonight, it's ribs. So we had a big feed of pickerel at lunch from what we caught yesterday, and it's ribs tonight, and then we're probably all gonna go to sleep right after that.
Windy Point Lodge has 9 lakefront cabins, all with fully equipped kitchens, a gas barbecue, fire pit, and a picnic table. You can choose the housekeeping plan, where you cook your own meals, or you can pick the American plan where meals are included. There is a comfortable dining hall and lounge overlooking the lake. Robert is a highly trained chef, and his wife Stephanie is an expert at home-cooked cuisine, at times with the Ukrainian influence. They are proud of their no-set menu style of operation, and it is derived from years of experience of what guests enjoy. The friendly atmosphere and a variety of extras, be it for the kids, birthdays, and other special moments, complements the ambiance of home. They also include a daily shore lunch kit containing everything you may need to cook your own catch at one of the 37 shore lunch sites on the lake.
Do it your way. Have it your way.
And that's the beautiful part of it. Like, if you come up and you take a guide for a few days, you can mix it up where you do like a fried fish the first day, maybe broil the second. If you have cool weather, nothing better than a chowder out in the lake. And the experience of the guide, people might look at the cost, but you're dealing with a person who loves doing this. You're going to get the stories, you're going to catch the fish, and it just, you don't have to drive the boat or nothing. The guy does everything for you. Everything down to taking the fish off your hook, putting maybe new bait on, whatever the fish are hitting on. And for the minor expense to catch that many fish and have that many memories, even if you just take them for a day, just to learn this lake. Mm-hmm. And you'll find out the best part about, I think, our location on the lake for Windy Point is we're on the main peninsula right in the middle of the lake. You're halfway to anything, or fish right off the dock. And May through June, back into the fall, you catch just as many fish sitting on that dock as you do out in the boat.
Got a few smaller ones and a few pike that we let go because the pike were small. But most of these were caught right off the dock.
Stringer.
Oh, a fish stringer.
Nothing on it.
Oh no.
However,
What's at the other end? Richard and Robert Watson have been on Kabinakagami Lake since they were children and have a complete understanding of the various species of fish, their locations, and habits by season, how weather affects their movement and feeding patterns, and the best baits and techniques for all of these conditions. Windy Point Lodge offers fin, fur, and feather packages that includes highly successful moose and bear hunts. They promote other hunts that include duck, wolf, and small game. Fresh moose tracks on the bank of the Oba show a moose recently swimming across the river. Trail cameras are occasionally placed along wildlife trails with some interesting results.
You have a really good opportunity to see moose, bears, or catch a glimpse of a wolf. You never know.
Yeah, tell us what you want to see, and if we can make it happen, we'll definitely point you in the right direction.
And you never know, especially being like we're a peninsula, what animals are going to be coming out next. Like you got your rabbits running around, ruffled grouse or partridge, minks or on the shorelines. Like it's beavers, otters. It's they're everywhere.
Windy Point Lodge cannot operate without an experienced crew. Mike Abbott Jr., being friends with the Watsons for many years and an expert guide and fisherman, provides us with a behind-the-scenes look.
Some days I'm on the water, a lot of days I'm out guiding, but when there's nobody to be guided, I'll be at the camp doing mechanical work, whatever really needs to be done, whether it be cut grass, work on boats, motors, four-wheelers. Last year was actually just my first year that I did a archery moose hunt, but every year basically I've been involved with the bear hunt, and I had two incredible gentlemen who I got to guide for the hunt, father and son from Traverse City, and they were just incredible guys to be with for the whole week.
There is a unique style of log cabin at Windy Point and throughout the Algoma region, designed and patented by Wawa resident Mickey Clement.
Upright log home building, is technically what it's called. The design, it belongs to Mickey Clement. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them all over Northern Ontario, especially around Wawa, obviously. After Mickey got a bit older, he obviously taught people how to build them. So a lot of those people started building cabins as well. So they just kind of flourished in our area. I mean, there's a lot of spruce trees and a lot of pine trees to build them out of. So I know Mickey's thought about it was that trees don't grow laying on their side. So they're not designed to shed water like that. They're designed to shed water standing up. So the life of the log is much longer by building with it horizontally. When the rain hits it, it can run, get away from the cracks instead of laying in the cracks and creating rot.
Day 1, 2020, after the pandemic, we just had to get away. We did, and the first day we limit out. So it's a great day. Can't say anything more than that.
The majority of our guests do come from the United States, as they find anything within like an 8 to 10 hour drive of Wawa. Pick your state. We're actually looking at exploring to a lot of the European countries who do the tours and trying to see if we can come up with something with the bus tours of as Wawa as a stop. Okay, how many people can be on a bus? Let's factor that into planes, and we'd have all the fishing equipment here. All you gotta do is even come in for a 1 or 2 day stop, and then just to try this part of Canada. You know, these are things you can't see or do right on the edge of the highway sometimes. Like 2 minutes off Highway 17, you're in Wawa and you are just exploring. Like the rich history of Wawa is unbelievable in the surrounding areas, and you can find out from any local motel that you're only a 1 minute drive and you're down to the seaplane base, and 20 minutes later you could be unpacked and you're on your plane, and that's it. You're coming up to our neck of the woods, which is just amazing.
The adventures on Kabinakagami Lake are endless, and there is something for everyone. Families, children, boys and girls. It is a photographer's paradise, and for the professional fishing and hunting enthusiasts, it does not get any better than this in the wilderness of Northern Ontario.